Hey everybody, how's it going? Bear here, and today we're going to talk about the latest Capture Festival Mon, returning Capture Festival Mon, because we haven't gotten anything new in quite a while. But anyway, this is one of my personal favorites, and just based on the design. Uh, Not speaking on the skills or anything just yet. But anyway, we have Jiangshi here. You can catch it for the next like 12 days or so, depending on where you live in the world. It might be 11 or something like that. I don't know, you know. But anyway, let's go in right into this. Now, I'm gonna preface this with none of the Jiangshi are like super amazing must-have mons. So if you're unable to like farm for any reason for the next 2 weeks that this is gonna be going on, well, almost 2 weeks, you're not missing out on much. Um, so don't stress too much about it. Just figured I should get that out of the way before we go into it. Don't get me wrong, some of the Jiangshi are good, just none of them are game-changing, you know? But anyway, here we have the Evo 1, which is very cute. And the Evo 2, also very cute. Whoa, that head thing was very creepy, though. And the Evo 3, definitely waifu tier class. I love the concept of a Jiangshi, just like from mythology alone, but also, have you seen the Jiangshi from Monster Musume? Have you seen the Jiangshi from Interspecies reviewers? Come on, if you haven't, I highly recommend just go give it a look, you know? But anyway, that's not what this video is about. It was kind of about it, but like, not really about waifus. Anyway, let's look at this. Well, actually, we need to look at the variant and whatnot. But anyway, here's Fire. Evo 3, looking very cool. I love the color scheme and everything like that. Very nice. Here's the variant, and I really like this one as well. They're both very cool. Definitely. I'm going to say I like the variant, because I like the darker tones more. Looking at the stats, she is a defender, and she has a pretty good defense, pretty good HP for Nat 3. Her attack is low, but like typical for Nat 3 defenders, so nothing too bad, you know? Can't expect much more. Looking at the skills, so first off the leader skill, we have Death Blow, critical hit damage 30-35%. It is general content, no elemental limit or anything like that. Super great. Which means, of course, all Jiangshi can use it. Whether or not you want to use it for a specific element, you know, like Fire, for example, which we'll get into the skills in a moment. You don't need the variant skill there, because you're most likely going to have it on your like PvP defense team or something like that, where crit damage lead isn't super helpful. You'd much rather have HP or defense lead. But there are other Jiangshi that definitely would benefit from this leader skill. Very much so, and we'll get into them as we go through the video. But anyway, back to Fire. On 3-star, we have Fearless Taunt, 80%, 1 turn. Skill boosts make it 2 turns and give a 20% damage boost. Then on 5-star, we have Sap, 60%, 2 types, 2 turns. Skill boosts make it 70%, give a 20% damage boost there. Now, there's really only one place where you'd want to use your Fire Jiangshi, and that is PvP, specifically defense, because her Fearless Taunt is very strong, and she has decent defensive stats to go with it. And of course, during the 3-star league, she does get that nice stat boost that will make her even better there, and it'll also make up for her very low attack stat as well. So she, even though you won't gem her offensively, she'll still do some pretty decent damage. The only issue with her is that Sap doesn't really go with Fearless Taunt. Sure, her Sap has good rates. 2 types, 2 turns is nice. 70% is nice after books 4 Nat 3. But Sap in PvP isn't necessarily the best thing. Like, sure, it does have the added benefit of lowering the opponent's resist, but of course, the opponent might, like, you have to get past the opponent's resist in the first place to land the Sap. So there's that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. How I would build her, I'd go HP defense. With Fearless Taunt mons, you know, healer set. I don't normally recommend sets. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'd know that. But sometimes I think like it's worth noting that a certain set is best for Mon, and Fearless Taunt Mons seem to really benefit from healer sets, just because they receive less damage and are easy to heal. And then just like being able to heal themselves will make it take really long for them to die, which is good. It's very good for your defense team. But yeah, she's definitely a decent Mon for your PvP defense team early on. She'll definitely fall off, of course, because there are much better fire defender type Mons in the game, like Fire Artemis, Fire Onmyoji, which I think they both might be tanks, but like, you get what I mean. Like Mons you put on your defense team. But still, she is very good as well. So I definitely recommend. And personally, she is the one I'm going for this time around because I did not get her the last time Jiangshi was around. So anyway, here we have water. Very cool. Love the color scheme. The purples and blues, very nice. Here's the variant. Now, I like the regular one because I do like those colors more, but I do like the aesthetic of this one just because it's kind of like a swampy theme, you know, with the green hair and the like the type of blue that's used. You know, it kind of reminds me of a swamp, but she's like a zombie, you know, which have similar color schemes. It's cool, it's cool. Looking at the stats, though, she is a tank. She has a good HP for an at-3 tank. Her defense and attack are both low, but they're not super terrible for an at-3 tank. But something that I should point out is that her really low attack stat does hold her back quite a bit, which we will speak a little bit more about after looking at her skills. So, 3-star, we have Curse, 80% 2 turns, skill books make it 100%, give a 20% damage boost. Then on 5-star, we have Curse, 80% 2 turns, skill books make it 90%, and give a 20% damage boost. Now, this is where her low attack stat comes into play, and that is because Curse, while it does act like Sap, in that it can stack and it takes away a certain amount of your opponent's HP, it's not based on a percent the way Sap is. Sap is now 7% since its recent buff, but Curse is based on the attack stat of the user. And with Water Jiangshi's low attack stat, that means her Curse isn't going to do that much damage. So it does hold her back quite a bit. Now, she is interesting, of course, because she is the, if I remember correctly, she is the only Curse Mon in the game that has Curse on both 3-star and 5-star, which I'm pretty sure that's the case. And I don't remember if there's any other Curse Mon that have it on 5-star in general. So she does have that nice niche of being like the only Mon with an AoE curse. But even still, her curse stack won't do much damage, but she can pair nicely with a Mon that has Fulminating Curse on their 5-star, so her with another one of the Jiangshi, which we'll get to later, or Fire Hades, Dark Hades, Fire Banshee. So it depends on her animation speed too, of course, and it depends on RNG heavily for her to get her bar full, and then also the Fulminating Curse Mon to get their bar full in the same turn, or to get the bar full like the turn after when the saps or the curses are already piling up. But yeah, curse is just overall it's just not the best skill in general, so I feel like that really holds it back. I'm not an expert on curse in the slightest. I don't really use it aside from my Dark Hades that I use in CVC on offense. But even then, I don't really use him for his curse. I use him as a dark attacker. If you guys want, you can check out Elio, who's another MSL YouTuber. If you don't know him, he has done a few videos on curse. So I would definitely recommend checking those out if you want more information on the skill. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to water. So where you want to use her, you can use her in 2 places. So one, PvP. Offense, defense, doesn't really matter because her sole purpose is just going to be to spread curse, which on defense, that's great because it'll just provide a little bit extra damage for your team. And then on offense, it's good because you can pair her with a Fulminating Curse Mon and just try to time it so that you can do as much damage as possible with that Fulminating Curse. Then you can also use her in GB10 for farming with Curse. Now, of course, Sap is better for farming GB10, but Curse is viable, so it's another thing you can do there. And if you're to do that. So first off, for PvP, I would gem her. I would probably just, like, I don't know, like, because she's weird, right? She's a tanky mon in terms of her stats, but her skills are offensive somewhat. So I would definitely make sure to have some attack on her. Maybe a bruiser build, HP attack defense or something like that. And then if you're using her on offense, and in GB10, I would just go triple attack, probably, just to get the most damage out of that curse. But yeah, that's going to be it for water. And let's move on to wood. I've had enough talking about water, because it's just a weird mon in general. But anyway, here's wood. Very cool. I love that she does, like, the beginning of the Macarena, kind of. Well, all the Jiangshi do, but anyway. Anyway, I like the variant a lot because of the purple. Very cool. Very, very cool. Looking at the stats, she's a balance type, and her stats are pretty good overall. It'd be nice if, like, her attack was a little bit higher, but can't really complain. It's okay. Now, looking at the skills, so on 3-star we have Sleep, 80% 1 turn, skill books make it 100%, give it 20% damage boost. Then on 5-star we have Unflinching Strike, and skill books give a 30% damage boost there. So, first issue you see with Wood Jiangshi is her skill synergy. Sleep and Unflinching Strike do not go together whatsoever. So, she is definitely going to be an interesting mon to go with. When she first came around, I did build her, and I tried using her in Titans, which is a viable place for her because she does have that Unflinching Strike. But getting her damage to be, like, decent there is going to be quite difficult, just because, the Unflinching Strike is on her 5-star, not her 3-star, so it won't be used as often, because you're more likely to not get an orb than you are to get one. And she, of course, wouldn't need an orb to get that Unflinching Strike. But then also because Sleep is useless in Titans, and it would be much better if she had a damage increase in skill like Wood Alpaca. So just to compare her with Wood Alpaca and Wood Pinolo, Wood Alpaca and Wood Pinolo both have damage increasing skills specifically for Titan. Well, Alpaca's isn't specifically for Titan, but they both have damage increasing skills on their 3-star. So even if they don't get an orb, they're still going to do good damage. Then on 5-star, while they all have Unflinching Strike, Jiangshi is the odd one out with a AoE. While the other two I mentioned do have that nice single target bonus. So definitely damage-wise, she's going to be inferior to those two. But if you don't have either of those, she is definitely a decent mon to throw in on your Titan teams. And of course, her leader skill is very helpful for that. She is not crit required, so you don't need to build her crit rate. But if you do get a variant and you want to take advantage of her leader skill, you can definitely build her with crit rate and do as much damage as possible. But yeah, anyway, long story short, she's pretty decent for Titans. There are 2 other places where you can use her, though. One is PvP offense. Not so much defense, but you can use her on offense just because she does have a 100% sleep. This will only really work like early PvP. It won't really work as you get later into the meta where you're facing teams with higher resist. But, you know, having that 100% sleep and a decent damaging wood attacker or wood damage dealer would be pretty nice. And then, of course, for Tower of Chaos as well, just having that 100% CC for floors like 80, 100 can help you out for sure. So those are options you have as well. Though, it's worth noting, Unflinching Strike isn't going to be super helpful in those places. And then, of course, with Titan, Sleep isn't helpful there at all. So, yeah. She's decent, but nothing special just because her skill synergy is very, very bad. How I would build her completely offensively, no matter which content you use her for. Again, she's not crit required, but you can build her with crit rate, take advantage of that leader skill, so crit rate attack, something like that, crit rate attack, crit damage, or attack, crit damage, triple attack, something like that. You don't really need to put on a survivability gem for her. There's not really a purpose for it. She does have decent base stats in terms of HP and defense, and then if you're using for Titans, you're most likely going to want to get more HP and defense from trinkets rather than gems. So offense is really what you want to do with those gems. Now, Light Jiangshi, here we are. And here's the variant, the regular, variant, the regular. I like them both. Like, I like the color scheme for the regular, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the variant just because the color scheme does fit more to the theme of her being a zombie, whereas the other one is like a bit too bright, so she seems more alive when she's supposed to be undead, you know? But anyway, let's look at the stats. So she is an attacker. She has a good attack stat. Her HP is pretty good as well. Defense is alright. Pretty middle of the road for net 4 attackers, I believe. Nothing special, but nothing bad either. Looking at the skills, so on 3-star we have Morale Boost, 20% of her own SP, and skill books make it 30%, give it 20% damage boost. Then on 5-star we have HP Siphon, greatly restores allies' HP, and skill books give a 10% boost to the effectiveness of that HP Siphon, and a 20% damage boost. And just looking at these skills, she screams farming. That's where you want to use her, that's what she wants to do. But she can do other things as well. So first, PvP, she can be pretty decent as a light attacker on offense. She'll be able to fill her bar quite quickly, and then when she gets it full, of course, she can heal herself and your team, which is nice, definitely nice. She will fall off, of course. She isn't the best light attacker. You'd prefer to have something with a damage increasing skill, but she does very well early to mid game anyway. Then, of course, farming, as I said, being able to fill her bar quickly, and then hidden AoE 5-star skills, great. Specifically, you can use her in GB10 as part of like a full light team, being able to fill her bar quickly and then provide heal and damage to the team at the same time is very nice. For a comparison or similarity or whatever, we've seen such a similar use of a 5-star skill in GB10 with Light Snowy, which Light Snowy doesn't have the benefit of morale boost on its 3-star. So, though it does have a self-heal for itself on its 3-star. But point is, on a Siphon set, we've seen Light Snowy be able to wave clear and do like a decent heal for itself and the team, and Light Jiangshi can do that same thing, probably even more reliably, just because it's more likely to get its bar full very quickly. And, of course, you would want a Siphon set for such a case, but until then, you know, don't worry about it. Just know Siphon set is the end goal for a mon like this. And then you can do the same for DB7 as well, because it is a dark dungeon. But yeah. Oh, how I would build her. Offensively, not crit required, but, of course, you can build her with crit rate. Crit rate, attack, crit damage, crit rate, attack, crit damage, triple attack, you know, all those things. But anyway, let's move on to the last of the Jiangshi, and here we have Dark. Here's the variant, the regular, variant, regular. I like the variant. Looking at the stats, so she's an attacker, just like Light, and she has a similar attack stat, a little bit higher HP and defense as well, so overall just really good stats. Looking at the skills, we have another Curse Mon. So 3-star, she has Curse, 80% 2 turns, skill books make it 100% and give a 20% damage boost. Then on 5-star, we have Fulminating Curse, and skill books give a 25% damage boost there. Where you could use her, you can actually use her in quite a few places. So first off, PvP, offense, just being a dark attacker, and then the added benefit of spreading a little bit of Curse, and Fulminating Curse having that damage boost on it is quite nice. Then farming, just as really using her for farming is just as a dark attacker. You're not going to really benefit much from her skills from doing that. But in GB10, you know, you can use her there, and the Curse would be a little bit helpful against the Golem, and the Fulminating Curse is pretty good for the wave clears if you do pair her with another Curse Mon, for example. You can use her in Titan just as a dark attacker, but she will definitely fall off for sure. Curse doesn't really help her much there. Then next, lastly, Water Colossus. I haven't tried Curse in Water Colossus, but it's something interesting, to say the least. You know, you can test it out. I don't know how good it'll be, but you know, it's worth a shot. It might be viable. I don't know. Anyway, Curse Mons in general for me, I don't know. They don't sit right with me. I feel like they're just worse sap Mons. You know? But anyway, that is it for the Jiangshi. I don't have any built, just because I I have Light and Dark and Wood all Evo 3. I tested out Wood in the past, but its damage wasn't high enough for where I'm at in the game, even for where I was back when she first came around. But early to mid game, she can be very helpful for you with your Titan teams. But anyway, let's prioritize them. So first I'm going to put Light, just because very good light attacker for many places, you know. Then I will put Fire, just because decent stats, decent skills, you know, pretty good mon overall. Then I will put Dark, but it won't be because of her skills at all, just because she is a Dark attacker. Then next I will put Wood, because she does have that nice Unflinching Strike, which, you know, Unflinching Strike mons, Crate Strike mons are somewhat hard to come by, so really early game, you know, she can be very helpful to you. And then last I will put Water, because 1, her skill is Curse, and Curse isn't that great, but 2, because her attack stat is very low, and of course Curse relies on your attack stat. But anyway, that's going to be it for the Jiangshi. Let me know if you guys are going to be getting them. Personally, I'm going to be Evo 3ing Fire and Water just to fill out the guide, and maybe I will build up Fire, I'm not sure yet. Just for fun, you know, not for anything. Maybe I'll try her out in the 3-star league, but that's about it. But yeah, let me know if you guys will be going for any of the Jiangshi, and like, comment, subscribe, all that. Feedback is always great. Hit the bell to stay updated for future videos. Have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.